Coming up, we'll be on location at KOSA Acupuncture in Gaithersburg, Maryland, discussing the benefits of Korean acupuncture and how it can treat and prevent many problems and improve your health with one of this region's top acupuncturists, Master Kim. Master Kim is a master in Korean Orthodox Saahm acupuncture, or KOSA, and is widely recognized as one of this region's top acupuncturists. Welcome, Master Kim. It's a pleasure having you on our program.
Thank you for having me here.
It's your first time, in fact, on the Top Doctors interviews. We have a lot to talk about. We've got some patients that are going to be joining us a bit later, plus another doctor, a researcher, who's going to give us some of her perspective and views on what she's found in Korean acupuncture. But I wanted to begin, if I may, Master Kim, by having you tell us how long acupuncture has been used to treat health problems, and what is KOSA for people who may not know?
Thank you for asking that. Acupuncture has a history of like 3,000 years, and KOSA, my acupuncture, is a little bit different and unique, interesting story you may want to know about. And our DNA resembles our body. Since we live in the cosmos, our body resembles the cosmos. Somehow, thousands of years ago, someone discovered that cosmos consists of yin-yang and 5 elements. So, since we live in the cosmos, our body consists of yin-yang and 5 elements. And yin-yang is, by the way, this is my book, talking about the relationship, relative relationship. Cold, hot, low, high, dark, bright, and etc. And 5 elements is, from water you get wood, from wood you get fire, from fire you get earth, from earth you get metal, from metal you get water. So it makes 10 different organs of our body, and we have 2 additional imaginary organs. It makes a total of 12 different organs. And since each organ is part of our body, each organ has its own 5-element acupuncture points as well. This for anybody and everybody in Oriental medicine industry knows about this. However, pretty much most of them do not know exactly how to utilize 5-element acupuncture points to treat people. 400 years ago, a Korean ascetic, Saahm, he invented a formula how to utilize those 5-element acupuncture points. And he treated thousands of people successfully. Unfortunately, when he passed away, his acupuncture was buried in graveyard at the same time. In the early 1950s, my father's master rediscovered his 2 books, and he started to study, teach, and treat the people. And my father learned his acupuncture in 1962. And with the 10 years of practice, he came up with a very unique needle manipulating technique, which made the best acupuncture in the world. And he named the acupuncture KOSA, which is the acronym of a Korean Orthodox Saahm acupuncture.
You come from quite a lineage, Master Kim.
Yes, sir. And I learned his acupuncture in 2003, and I started to teach from next year, 2004. And I have taught 90 plus physicians and acupuncturists around the world. And in 2012, I wrote this book. And this book has been translated into Portuguese, Romanian, and Spanish. And there are people in France, Germany, Spain, Israel, and Indonesia translating my book into their mother languages.
It's becoming the Bible of the industry.
Yes, sir.
And I wanted to ask you, Master Kim, how is Korean acupuncture different than Chinese acupuncture?
Firstly, Chinese acupuncture shows a kind of a slow and weak. However, KOSA's effect shows pretty much immediately and instantly, even during first session.
That's very impressive.
We also treat multiple symptoms and pains at once. So KOSA can kill dozens of birds with a single stone, while Chinese acupuncture can only treat one or two symptoms only. And also, we have a very, very high success rate because theoretically, yin-yang and five elements theory, if that is the scientifically proven or correct, that means it is supposed to be able to treat all kinds of disease and pain. So theoretically, we can treat anything and everything and all.
So basically, anyone out there from, I take it, of all ages, Master Kim?
Sure, absolutely.
Who are going through different problems, and we're talking about anything associated with one's body, can come and get the treatments through Korean acupuncture and feel results immediately, have multiple areas treated at one time, as opposed to traditional Chinese acupuncture, which doesn't offer any of those benefits.
Yes, of course. And at any age, like babies and children, of course, they want like needles penetrating their skin. Then we can use magnets or just a tapping with a finger, or we can even use laser. So they won't feel any discomfort or pain whatsoever.
Well, that's certainly good to know. And that leads me to my next question, Master Kim.
Sure.
How are the treatments performed?
Chinese acupuncture usually love to use the local area, and they just focusing on the local area problem. However, and also they putting needles on the local area and usually on the back or shoulder, and they walk away, then they come back like 30 minutes later and to pull the needles out. But I sit together with my patients at least 45 minutes together, and I'm not just treating patients with the needles, but also I educate them what to do to keep to maintain their health better and expedite the healing process.
So you really take a personalized approach with each patient.
Absolutely. In addition to that, we do have problems. The first problem is my patients are getting better too quick.
That's not a problem from the patient's per side.
We have other problems, so-called side effects. We do have side effects. So even though you don't tell me other problems because you forgot or you didn't expect me to be able to treat them, I still treat them. For example, there was a young college girl came in to treat her acne, and with the second treatment, when she came back for third treatment, she says, well, she had photographic memory, and she was bragging in it during first session. However, during the third session, she says, Master Kim, now I can memorize even faster, and I can focus even better.
I find that very fascinating, that problems like even acne, which are so common, especially among teenagers, can be treated through acupuncture.
Absolutely. And all kinds of, literally, all kinds of skin trouble can be treated. And also, at the same time, they will be able to enjoy the benefit of KOSA's side effects.
And how do you diagnose and determine which types of treatments are necessary for certain types of patients?
Well, to answer the question, I need to educate you about what acupuncture actually does. There are very important two aspects we need to understand. And first one is the location of the symptoms or pains or other problems. Okay, let me give you this guy. Let's say you have a pain on your knee. Each organ has two sets of acupuncture points. You see the dots around here and meridians, which are connecting acupuncture points and acupuncture points. And they are symmetrically arranged. You see this green, a light green line starting from here and here, goes down here like this.
Yes.
So knee pain, it indicates that your stomach is not in healthy condition and it has failed to fix your knee pain. So for example, if there is a back pain or neck pain or back pain, that means your bladder and the kidneys need to be treated. And that those healthy organs will be able to treat those problems, no matter what the reason was. Okay, that is the location. The second aspect is the functions. Our KOSA's understanding on functions of each organ is a lot more wider than even acupuncturists think. For example, liver is in charge of muscles, sinews, vision, eyeballs, anger management, reproductive organ, and which is the main organ overseeing all other organs' self-maintenance. For kidney is in charge of bones, metals, willpower, fear, and reproductive organ too. So even emotions, psychological issues, and they are affecting organs, and the organs are affecting emotions and psychological issues too. So that's the reason why with this treatment, you're gonna have a much better health and much healthier minds, spirits, and willpower.
Very interesting. You become complete, in other words, and once you realize, like, see, I didn't realize until you just educated us, Master Kim, that it's all tied together in a way that we wouldn't even think.
Right. So, for example, the knee pain is due to knee arthritis. That means location-wise, stomach has to be treated, and function-wise, kidney and bladder need to be treated because they are in charge of bones and marrows. Shoulder pain here, that is, large intestine is in charge. So every single patient, they have a total different problems, not just one, usually 1 dozen or 2 dozen even. So for example, knee pain with the arthritis, so you're gonna be treated with your stomach, kidney, and bladder. And when you have shoulder pain right here, you're gonna be treated on your large intestine too. For example, you have a other problem like sinus problem at the same time, then your lungs will be treated at the same time. So the treatment will be customized to every single individual. And again, all the symptoms will be treated at once.
Which is very good to know. I mean, that's something that's very powerful as far as Korean acupuncture and the approach utilized, the 5 elements that you mentioned, the yin, the yang, because a lot of folks, and that's what I touched on briefly earlier a few moments back, Master Kim, we don't realize that, you know, for example, like you said, you know, one part of our body, if it's fixed over here, that it actually can also correct problems in other parts of our body. I mean, I didn't know that personally.
Sure.
It's really impressive.
I'm glad you understand that.
Now, is there any pain associated with any of these treatments, Master Kim? Because, you know, as people, when they hear the term acupuncture, you automatically associate needles and you think automatically with needles comes pain, but please tell us if that's correct or not.
Well, when needle is being inserted, it may cause a little bit of a stinging, and if you would continuously sting, then it will have to be replaced. And during treatment, and when I manipulating needles, I may give it a little bit of a stinging, but it should be tolerable and manageable.
A little bit of stinging is nothing. That's like a little, a light little shot being given or something,
Exactly.
which is nothing compared to the pain and the other issues and problems many of us have that, from what you've told us here today, can be corrected and fixed through Korean acupuncture.
Sure, absolutely.
Now, that brings me to my next question, Master Kim. What type of results can we expect from Korean acupuncture? What are people looking at?
My consistent goal when I treat my patients is to make them, they don't have to see me anymore in very, very short period of time.
I think that says it all right there. In other words, they're getting results very quickly and lasting results, because that's why they don't need to come back to you.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of results, we're now going to meet some patients of Master Kim and KOSA Acupuncture. Welcome, Mimi.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Well, we always appreciate it when patients take time in their busy lives to come and share some of their experiences with us, Mimi. And on that note, I'd like to begin, if I may, by having you tell us what problem or problems were you experiencing that brought you to Master Kim and KOSA Acupuncture.
I experienced chronic pain on my left side of the body and weak sensation on my right side, so it's a very off balance, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
I'm sorry to hear that. And how long were you experiencing this pain?
For a long time, since I was little.
So once you came to Master Kim, what took place, Mimi?
I came and told him what happened to me, and he was very compassionate. And also he's told me that his acupuncture method is very different from most other acupuncture. He only puts needles on hands, arms, and feet and legs. And also he is telling me, you know, this pain comes from organs. It is because your organs are unhealthy. And these needles are going to the organs and fixing the organs, and that's what's gonna help me with the pain.
Very interesting. So then you started the treatments, and did you feel any results right away, or did it take a period of time for them?
I started feeling right away, but the beginning, the result won't stay very long in my body. But after 3-4 sessions, the result feels more, not permanent, but longer lasting.
That's good to know. So you're actually feeling pain-free a good chunk of the time, as opposed to for so many years you were dealing with constant pain. And how long do the treatments typically take for you, Mimi?
Normally it takes about 40-45 minutes.
And how often do you come?
Once every 2-3 days.
Oh, okay. Before we let you go, Mimi, I'd like to ask you if there's any final thoughts you'd like to share with our viewers.
For many years, I also experienced a menstrual problem with the pain and stuff. So he put one of the needle in me and told me that was gonna go away. And that was about 2 weeks ago. And now I'm having period and I don't feel any of those symptoms.
That's wonderful. Oh my goodness, so many women, suffer varying amounts of pain whenever they go through that period. And in your case, you didn't feel any pain on this recent period.
No. No.
That really truly is amazing.
Yes. I think Master Kim, not only he treats you physically, he will also inspire you to believe yourself and have big dreams. And that's one of the most important things in life.
Well, on that note, we'd like to thank you, Mimi, for sharing some of your experiences with us and being a guest on our program. It was our pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
Welcome, Garija. We appreciate you coming down.
Sure.
I wanted to ask you, Garija, if you can please tell us what problem were you experiencing that also brought you here to Master Kim?
Yeah, so I had asthma for almost 10 years. And last couple years it had gotten really bad. So for me to go up and down the stairs was very difficult. Or even to run around with the kids. I was hardly able to do any of those activities.
So it was really affecting your life, and it
Ve-
had gotten
yeah, a
worse,
lot,
like you said,
yeah,
the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
And then I was on steroid medication. I was on those inhalers all the time. And when I went to a lot of doctors and they did my breathing test, it was 40%. And even with the inhalers, it would increase like 5% or 10%. So it was not working.
That's it?
Yeah.
So you were still going through those problems?
Yeah.
And then what brought you to Master Kim?
So my husband found him online, and he came here to just check out what it is. And the next day he said, we have to go here. He is going to treat you. And I was kind of skeptical. And when I came here, I hardly talked to him. I didn't give him all the information because I almost thought, with needles, what is he going to do? Yeah. And then, but within like 2 sessions, I didn't use the inhaler. I didn't need the inhaler anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So basically you saw results pretty
Yeah,
much right
pretty
away.
much within 2 days, I didn't need the inhaler anymore.
And
so that
you're-
was like a miracle. And then I started opening up after a week. I started opening up and telling him other things what I have, and pretty much all those things are resolved. So I started coming to him December 12th of 2014.
Okay.
And now till date, today is
Yeah, about 9
11,
months
yeah.
later.
I have not taken the inhaler even once. I have not taken even a single pain medication, which is a miracle.
That is great to hear,
Yeah.
Garija. That is wonderful news. Obviously, you have your quality of life back.
Yeah.
You can run around with the
I
kids
can
again.
run around with the kids
You can go up
again,
and down the
up and
stairs
down the
again without
stairs.
breathing problems.
Yeah.
All through your treatments here with Master Kim.
Yes.
And for the folks out there watching, anything you'd like to add before we let you go, Garija?
Our whole family comes here now because we know the results. And my daughter, who's 12 years old, she has been having car sickness problems. And she has been throwing up. Every time we sit in the car, she just throws up. It's a very normal, it had become a normal thing for us over the period of time. But just with like 2 or 3 treatments, she stopped throwing up. And she doesn't have car sickness anymore. In fact, she was so happy about that she drew this picture for Master Kim to put it up on his wall. And she says, Master Kim, you're a magician. And she says, but it's not magic, it's ultimate science. Because she read it in the book that it's a science. So she came up with that. And I helped her a little bit to do the eyes and stuff, but it was her idea completely.
That is great.
I think his treatment is amazing, and just don't give it a second thought. Just go ahead and try it for a few sessions and you'll see the difference for yourself, I think.
Well, we thank you again for joining us, sharing some of your experiences and being a guest on our program.
Sure.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Keith. It's a pleasure having you on our program as well.
Thank you very much.
Now, I understand you have a research and scientist background as well, and you've got some thoughts that you'd like to share with us regarding Korean acupuncture and Master Kim. Can you please begin?
Certainly. I got to know that there is one of the best acupuncturists in the area while doing my research. Master Kim's name came across, and I was not familiar with Korean acupuncture, but I did hear that through the research I've done, I found out that it's way more superior and effective than traditional Chinese acupuncture. And thus I went and did meet Master Kim and learned about his method. And what was surprising to me, I found many parallels with the work of doctors and scientists hundreds of years ago, as well in the beginning of the century, such as Alexander Gorovich, a famous Russian scientist, and the followers of his teaching, to say Kazanachev and other modern researchers and scientists. And I found out that Master Kim's technique has correlation with those works and background work that those scientists were discovered at different times, as well as going back hundreds and hundreds of years ago in history. I found that was mentioned throughout work of philosophers and ancient doctors. So it was fascinating for me to meet Master Kim and talk to him and find out more about how Korean acupuncture is used to bring up the ability of human body to heal. And from what I've discovered, it's one of the best methods known right now to treat sport injuries, because of the effect is precise, immediate, and effective the very minute. And that is one of the best methods to treat sport injuries, bone fractures, acute metabolic failures, shock conditions, sport injuries. One of the best implementations of Master Kim's technique. Yeah. And it's based on ability of human body to regenerate. And this technique triggers this innate mechanisms of regeneration right away by relieving pain and stimulating the immune response, stimulating immune responses of the human body right away.
Very interesting. Quite a few benefits, particularly as you spotlighted on sports injuries, with immediate results as far as pain relief goes.
That's right. It's one of the only techniques that I've seen that truly triggers the results right away, leads to the results right away, to say.
Well, on that note, Dr. Keith, we'd like to thank you for joining us, sharing some of your perspectives on your research on Korean acupuncture and being a guest on our program. We really appreciated having you on. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I must say the patients really experienced powerful results, to the point where Garija even had her family come here, and they still come here until you fix their problem. And their little one even drew that wonderful painting of you.
Sure.
I think that says it all right there.
Of course.
Now, we're literally out of time, Master Kim, but I wanted to ask you, before I let you go, you've established an excellent reputation as a master in Korean Orthodox, Saahm acupuncture, or KOSA, and for providing tremendous patient care and successfully treating so many illnesses as you've done over the many years. I wanted to just ask you what you feel helps separate you and your practice apart from the others.
Well, KOSA is the most powerful acupuncture in the world, and it has shown consistently high success rate and any type of health problems, and even including emotions and intelligence issues too. We also treat all symptoms of one single patient at once. So once again, KOSA can kill dozens of birds with one single stone.
Very well said.
I have other success story on dyslexia. I treated an 11-year-old boy with dyslexia, and with one single treatment, he was able to read flawlessly.
My goodness, that's very impressive result.
So what we believe is, as I told you earlier, the emotions and intelligence and organs are interacting directly, and there is no time delay. And as a matter of fact, we believe that brain is under control of organs, not vice versa.
Yes, because most people would think the opposite.
And as I said, we have a very, very wide range of applications, and we do have a side effects. If there is any, only positive.
And lastly, Master Kim, how can folks get a hold of your book?
Well, my target readers are any people with a high school education. That's good enough to understand and use it for themselves. And my book is available in the printed format and the ebook. You just have to go to my website and click on study. Then you should be able to purchase my book.
And your web address, Master Kim?
www.saahm.net.
I want to thank you, Master Kim, for really educating us, enlightening us. You are the gold standard when it comes to Korean acupuncture. The lineage, as you mentioned in the beginning of the interview with your dad. But I really want to thank you because what you've told us about today and showed us, and the patients that we had on earlier, Dr. Keith, from a research perspective, when you put it all together, Master Kim, a very powerful interview that certainly can be a vessel, a vehicle to help so many people out there that are watching. And I really want to thank you again for joining us. We'd love to have you back on in the future, Master Kim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.